All right. Welcome back, boys. Gonna do this week's narrative. Hit the intro, Noah. This week's narrative. You should be fading rookie running backs because of the COVID crisis. What do you guys have to say about that?
I say no because
Don't
running
mind me.
backs don't take too long to develop anyways, and I don't think a shortened offseason is going to really impact them all too much. That's
Yeah,
all.
I agree. It's not difficult. This cat's cradle I'm trying to do is more difficult over here. I talked about this on the Q&A on Saturday that I had. I would fade every other position that's rookies except for the running backs. The reason you're fading rookie running backs in other years is because they usually start in a committee, and that's the only concern this year with most of them. I don't think you don't do much as a running back. You don't have to worry about blocking schemes. I mean, sometimes you do, but pass blocking is far overrated when it comes to fantasy football. You don't have to worry about a lot of things. You don't have to worry about, press coverage versus zone coverage versus all that kind of shit. So I think with running backs, it's a lot more talent based, a lot more purely talented. So yeah, I'm not worried about drafting rookie running backs, but I still have the same concerns for them that I normally would have. Nothing to do with like a non-summer, non-NFL training camp season though.
Yeah. I mean, look, I totally agree with you guys. Like, I think, the reason why I brought it up is because I saw a lot of activity this past week on Twitter, just talking about like, CEH, Jonathan Taylor, what have you, and whether they should be, people should be as invested as in them in the 2020 season as the years pass. And I think like, look, running back, the reason why we take running backs early in rookie drafts is because it is the easiest position to transition from college to the pros. And in this year in particular, if you look at the running backs and where they landed, I mean, you could not dream up of better fits for some of the top
Yeah, Mike,
landing
we did
spots,
that
right?
episode. It's like, oh, this team's going to take a running back. We wouldn't like that. This team. And then the draft happened in every single landing spot. We're like, okay, I kind of like that other than DeAndre Swift. But even now we're starting to like gain.
Yeah. Yeah, but you think about J.K. Dobbins. He fits perfectly into that scheme with Lamar Jackson, right? You think about Jonathan Taylor. They run the exact same scheme as they did for him in college. You think about CEH. What is he being touted as, right? One of the best receiving backs in this class. Where does he go? To a team with Andy Reid, who is the best utilizer of the running back position in the passing game that we know of. So I think like, I am worried about COVID, right? I'm worried about COVID for the receivers. I'm worried about COVID for tight ends. I'm even worried about it for the quarterbacks. But like the fact that they transition so seamlessly and like, I guess to the team's credits that drafted them, fit so well with their offensive scheme, it kind of really alleviates a lot of that pressure for me. And to be honest, I think that I'll talk a little bit about this in this week's Market Watch Mondays, but I think, come September, or even come late August, I think rookie running backs are going to be a value in redraft leagues because the fear mongering is going to take over and this narrative of COVID and all this stuff. So yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more, but yeah, I don't think you guys should be fading running backs at all. I think you're going to be drafting them and they're going to win you leagues just like they have in every single year.
Yep,
Yeah,
we're
and
all on the
just like
same
Nick
page
said,
here.
like it's not hard to be a running back, right? Like even Jonathan Williams last year, right? He comes in out of nowhere and he puts up like 250 yards over a 2-week span. And every single time, I
Focus.
kid you
You're a
not.
fucking professional podcaster, Noah. Focus. I said you're a professional podcaster. Focus. Don't worry about me.
That was like a little chicken claw or something. But every single time I go on FF today and I look at running backs points per game, without fail, Wes Hills
Who?
is like running back 8. And I'd never heard of that guy before. It just proves to you that like you don't need all that much experience to run in a straight line. And if you see a hole, just run through it. And all these running backs were picked round 2, round 3. They all had day 1, day 2 capital, which leads me to believe that they are talented and the teams that pick them want to use them pretty early and pretty often. So as Mike said, and as Nick said, I'm not too wary about like fading the position, even in redraft league, because I do think that there is a place for them this year to at least succeed in the second half of the season.
Yes, sir. We're all on
That's
the
it,
same page
boys.
here. Close the book.
Peace.